Now, we have heard from the Commonwealth, we have heard from the states, and we have heard from the territories. Now it's time to hear from local government. To that end, I am delighted to invite to the stage Mayor Troy Pickard to present on behalf of the Australian Government Association.
Thank you very much. Can I acknowledge the traditional owners of the land which we've gathered and pay respects to the elders past and present, to the Prime Minister, to the First Ministers, to Ministers, and importantly to the many stakeholders in this space. I'm delighted on behalf of Australia's 562 local government authorities to participate in today's summit. Preventing violence against women and children requires not only an intergenerational change of attitudes, practices and norms in our community, but of course it requires collaboration amongst all spheres of government and stakeholder groups. Councils have significant reach within the community and can provide a platform for integrated activity in preventing violence. Most state and territory local government associations, which represent the councils in their jurisdictions, have worked cooperatively with their state and territory governments to support statewide initiatives. For example, the Local Government Association of Queensland joined in the Queensland Government's push for new legislation on domestic violence after the Queensland Domestic Violence Inquiry. Local experience is that short-term or project-by-project approaches to primary prevention will not succeed. This is reinforced by the National Framework to Prevent Violence Against Women and Children, which promotes a consistent, coordinated approach across all sectors and governments. Changing attitudes, practices, structure and norms needs sustained, coordinated effort and a response across all spheres of government. Local government is a willing and able partner to reduce violence against women and children in Australia. Local government's reach extends from children's and youth services to aged care and disability programs, from libraries and community facilities to workforce policies and training. Whilst it's difficult to read on the slide, it does show the extent of the reach of your local councils. Councils are well placed to provide guidance and support for awareness raising and prevention initiatives at the local level, collectively, right across the nation. Prevention of violence against women is responsibility of everyone in local government, from the role modelling and leadership of the elected officials to the activities of employees. Local government employs approximately 187,000 people nationally. Given that it is estimated that 2/3 of women who experience family violence are in the paid workforce, it is vital for organisations to make available workplace support for those experiencing violence through a dedicated staff family violence policy and safety planning. An example of this is the North Burnett Council Workplace Support Policy. North Burnett, based here in Queensland, was one of the first Queensland councils to introduce a family violence clause into its enterprise agreement. This clause is now rated as best practice for its support for employees. Councils have a wide reach within the community and can provide a platform for integrated activity in preventing violence by applying a gender equity and lens to their core activities, including through libraries, youth services, early years gender equality, maternal and health care, council and community engagement prevention campaigns such as White Ribbon, aged and disability programs, planning and infrastructure through a gender lens, focus through various networks and partnerships, and sports and leisure facilities to promote inclusive activities and behaviour. Councils such as the Brisbane Council, again here in Queensland, have made it clear they have a zero tolerance approach to this issue. Councils, as community leaders, have a special role to take a public stand. Local events can increase the risk of domestic violence. Research has shown, including after the Black Saturday bushfires in Victoria in 2009, that the incidence of family violence increases post-disaster and that there are differences in how men and women experience and recover from disaster. The Municipal Association of Victoria has a gender and emergency management strategy which is designed to help councils and their partners improve their understanding of gender differences and incorporate considerations into their emergency management policy, planning, decision making and service delivery. Council libraries make a valuable contribution to the lifelong learning and literacies in our community. Libraries are trusted as safe spaces by our community and can provide an important space for quiet refuge for women and children living in violent situations. Staff are aware of some women who come to use technology and explore their options for leaving a violent partner. Monash City Council in Victoria has used their library primary prevention messages developed through their Generating Equality and Respect project. Library computers have Say No to Violence, Say Yes to Equality and Respect as their screensaver messages. In addition, the library manager participated in the development of a communications campaign with council staff, and his photo appears on posters throughout the library with the message, "Stop violence against women. Violence against women is never acceptable. My oath, I swear." Planning and design procedures can unilaterally exclude or discriminate against groups in our community. Planning policy and infrastructure development can overlook the fact that women and men use public space, infrastructure and transport differently. Research suggests that this different use of transport is linked to women's employment patterns and family and household responsibilities. Women are less likely to have access to a car and are more likely to walk and/or use public transport. However, most public transport is designed for people who travel in and out of city and town centres at peak hour and without children, prams, and shopping. Another example is street lighting, or more specifically, adequate lighting, and what is considered adequate from a gender perspective. A 40-year-old able-bodied male will feel differently about adequate night lighting compared to a woman. Changing attitudes, practices, structure and norms needs sustained, coordinated effort and a response across all levels of government. Local government is close to its communities and is often the first response. Councils across Australia are committed to playing their role in partnership with other levels of government in reducing domestic violence, and indeed local government looks forward to working collaboratively with the Commonwealth, state and territory governments and all the important stakeholders that continue to do great work day in and day out on the coalface in reducing violence against women and their children. God bless.
Thank you very much indeed, Mayor Pickard.